He's my least favorite actor.
No, I think he's one of your favorite actors of all
Jesus
time.
has burdened me with Michael Rooker. One day when I was a young man, I was saying, God, please make me a big, famous, rich movie director. And Jesus appeared in my window before me, and he said, you shall have it, my son, but with it comes a great price.
A great burden.
And then I saw Rooker's fucking ugly mug, like with flames, like the Prime Eagle. I said, "Oh, I'm not sure it's worth it. Maybe I'm going to go back to working at Denny's." Welcome to Peacemaker, the official podcast with James Gunn. I'm James Gunn. I am here with my wonderful co-hosts, Jennifer Holland and Steve Agee.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Holland. I play Emilia Harcourt.
And I am Steve. I play John Economos.
We are the official destination to go deeper into the DCU series Peacemaker. We go behind the scenes. We learn fun facts.
Fun facts.
We learn facts that are also not fun at all.
That's true.
And we learn about the music, about the drama on set, and then we'll answer some fan questions, talk about all sorts of stuff. Okay, Jen, what do you got?
Well, today we are diving into Season 2, Episode 5, titled Back to the Suture, directed by Alethea Jones. And we're also welcoming to the podcast today Mr. Michael Rooker, a.k.a. Red St. Wild, and DC Studios exec and Season 2 producer, Galen Weisman.
Just say the put upon. Galen Weisman.
Yes, that's
There you go.
The put upon.
There you go.
The put upon and bedraggled Galen Weisman.
We are going to have some spoilers, so if you have not watched the episode, please go to HBO Max and do so now.
Galen is a lifesaver, and he's really helpful. And something we do at DC Studios is most places you have, executives, creative executives at the studios, and then you have producers and directors. And what I've found, and this is thanks to my friends at Marvel in a lot of ways, is that when you have a director and then the producer is the studio, that you have a much clearer line of communication. Things are less likely to get triangulated between different people vying for power, and you come up with a better show or movie in the end. And at least for me, that's been my experience. So Galen is one of our creative execs here at DC Studios, who then also produces movies and television shows, and he's been a lifesaver on both Peacemaker and on Superman. Rooker,
Yeah.
we've worked together a hell of a lot.
Wait a minute. Let me have a drink first.
How many productions now?
Dude, we
What's
could
in that cup, Rooker?
What was the first one?
The first one was Slither. And I was thinking of Slither while I was watching it because the first time,
We were just talking about it. So
one of the first times I ever went to see Slither was with an audience, was with you, and Rooker just laughed at every single thing he did on screen. And then
Just his stuff?
Come on.
yeah, but you didn't laugh at Nathan Fillion's
He
stuff.
was not funny. Nathan's
He was
not
funny.
He's not a funny guy.
So he left and he was doing the same thing. You were actually laughing at a lot of stuff on the show, but you were also laughing at every single little micro movement of yourself.
Well, I do that because I think it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Every time I see something, I'm like, I can't believe I did that.
But that was the first time you saw yourself as a famous Red St. Wild. What did you think?
I was quite handsome, actually.
You thought you were
I
handsome?
look good with long hair. Yeah. I like the hair. I like the hair a lot.
I like to give you stupid haircuts in movies.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I literally cannot count how many things we've done together. You've been in every single one of my films.
I think Sean has been in more. Maybe. You think?
Well, Sean.
Maybe Sean and I have been the two.
Yeah.
In most of your
Sean's been, Stevie too.
Stevie too.
Stevie Blackheart.
Yeah.
So the three of you have been in. Nathan Fillion has been in almost he has been in every single movie I've made that I've directed, but he was cut out of one. But you've not only been in every movie I've made, you've been in almost every movie I've produced, because you were in the Belko Experiment, you were in Brightburn.
Brightburn, yeah.
We did
even those little ones with the chimpanzee.
Yeah, Humanzee. You were a priest in that. You were in my reality show Scream Queens back in the day.
Oh, that's right. That's right, yeah.
We had fun on that. We did a reality show in Germany that was a big reality show. Remember
God,
doing
no.
that?
What?
Where we went and they filmed us like it was a big German reality show.
Oh, yes. Where
And
we go shooting, we go to the range.
We went to the shooting range, and then we went and we had a party at my house.
Night life or something.
Yeah, something. It was funny, and I told the story about how you were skunked at my house.
Yeah.
Twice. I was skunked twice in one skunking. I got skunked. I backed up, and I was like, oh, and then I kept going forward, and I got skunked again.
Right.
Before I entered the door.
On my brother's porch.
That's right. That's right. Your poor brothers.
And then you pulled out your pistol.
Yeah, I had two.
And I'm like that little motherfucker, I've been skunked.
That's right. I pulled my pistol out. I'm going to kill
out
that
of your
little
fucking
fucker.
ankle holster. And you're like, and I said, Rooker, don't kill the skunk.
Yeah,
it was a little adolescent skunk that
was scared.
Because you were being an asshole.
You were sneaking in the bushes.
No, he was like...
I was like pounding or something.
We were
right?
sitting at the table, and he came up, and he was trying to scare us by pounding on the window.
And I scared
And
the
we're
skunk.
like, it's Rooker.
Yeah, I didn't scare them. I scared the
But you
skunk.
scared the shit out of a skunk who turned around. And then you said it was like one of those fine mists going over you at the amusement park as you wait in line.
You just don't let people know I don't usually carry a gun. Well, that's not true. Yeah.
You're always
Sorry
strapped.
about that.
Are you strapped right now?
No, because I'm on the studio lot.
Okay.
But I usually carry two at least.
All right.
Joking.
RoboCop over here.
He's really not joking that much. Okay, anyway. We've talked in the past on this podcast about how you were doing me a favor to come in as Red St. Wild because there was something that wasn't working right with the previous guy that played the character. So we reshot a lot of your scenes as Red St. Wild. We went out to Bistro Hillary in Atlanta. We went for dinner one night. You remember this?
Yeah.
We're talking about the DCU, and I said, I have this role for you that would be great in Peacemaker, but you die, probably.
Yeah.
Or you're mutilated. We don't know for sure what happens to Red
Haven't
St. Wild.
decided. It'll be. The fans will make that decision.
I said, but I might want to wait for a meteor role.
That's right.
For you down the line. So
I remember the conversation.
I said, what do you want me to? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to cast you in this role, or do you want me to wait? And you were like, whatever you want to do is fine.
That's right.
Whatever, it's always up to you. We just have fun shooting together.
That's right.
I have fun like giving you direction, and you have fun
He
not listening
loves
to
killing me, and I know if
killed
the
him a
role
lot.
were going to continue on, it would have made him a wee bit sad because I'd be returning and all that kind of stuff. So once he decided that I'm going to kill this fucking guy, let's hire a Rooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, so I don't know. So I called. Things weren't quite going well, and so I
Yeah.
called you up. I said, "Could you do me a favor? We've already spent all of our money on our show. Will you help us out and come in and do this role as a favor?" And I said, "The one thing I'll tell you is that we will not consider this meaning that you can't play another role in the DCU."
That's exactly right.
Right.
And
So-
that was a big deciding factor for me.
Yeah. So
too.
it will make you look as much like ridiculous as we can.
Yeah.
And if you need to come in and play another role at some point, we'll still do that.
Well, you know what the fans are going to
Because
take
I really
from
need you
this
to do it.
conversation now, that I'll be coming back to the DC and a major, substantial
The DC,
role.
DC.
The DC.
He's close.
This is where we tell you that Michael Rooker is the Flash.
I meant I didn't mean the DC. I meant the DC.
The hot flash.
He's the hot Flash. Yeah.
The hot flash in the pan.
Anyway, so you came in and you just kind of I kind of thought of his character as you from the beginning, which is probably an unfair thing to the actor that we originally hired. So.
Yeah, I've had a conversation with him since. No, I haven't.
I did the same thing. It's a similar thing that I did with King Shark in the Suicide Squad. I imagine that role. Well, I imagine that role.
Somebody perked up.
I imagine that role as Sylvester Stallone from the beginning. We used Steve Agee for motion reference, but when we were doing the voiceover, I had it in my head, and I brought up Sly, and they're like, yeah, but he's expensive, and this and that. And so we recorded with 2 other actors fully the whole movie that wasn't Sly, and it was like, they were fine, talented guys, but it just didn't work. And then finally I was like, Sly, can you come in and do this?
I remember when we did the table read, I sat down and I was super nervous because it's like Idris Elba and Margot Robbie sitting next to me, and I was fucking nervous. And as I'm starting to highlight the script, I go, James and I have not talked about what I'm supposed to do with my voice, even though I'm, just reference. And so I just tried to make him as mean and big sounding. And we did that for a little while with rehearsals. And then you call me one night, you're like, that whatever you're doing is not working. And so over the weekend, I sent you a bunch of audio, and you're like, no. And then on the day we started shooting, you were just like, just think like a Stallone type, like slower Stallone.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So is that your voice?
No,
it's Stallone.
No, it's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, okay.
It's like in the same way Sean played Rocket on set, and we used Sean's acting as a motion reference for Rocket.
You did all that.
We used his acting as a motion reference for King Shark, not exactly the most expressive character in the history of comics, but yeah.
But it is funny because I had shorts that were too loose. And so the whole time I'm running and stuff, I'm pulling them up. And then when I see the movie, I was like, holy shit, they're using everything.
This is what this really all means. It's like, once you have it in your mind who you want, you just don't give up. No matter who gets cast, you're still thinking of the other person. It's still there, right?
Well,
it's kind of like...
Not always. I mean, we talked about how in season 1 of Peacemaker, I wrote Myrn for Lance Reddick. He was the greatest guy, and so he was supposed to play the role, but he had problems with another show. And then Chuck Woody came in, and he played the character of Myrn and just absolutely owned the role and changed him from what I initially thought of him as, but owned it. And,
Also got him a role in another movie who James had in someone else.
And now he's a regular on The Jackal.
And that's really nice, too, when the actor can change the director's mind.
The real example of that is that you had originally had someone else in mind to play Peacemaker. In that,
That is actually
that
true.
did not work out.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't think it's a secret.
it's a secret, yeah,
I wrote Peacemaker for Dave Bautista.
Okay.
And
In the Suicide Squad.
in the Suicide Squad, and Dave couldn't do it. I liked John a lot in Trainwreck, and so he and I talked, and we got along, and he decided to play the role. Boy, that it really is the ultimate example, and now he's become this iconic character.
I can't even imagine anyone else playing the character now because he's so great.
Yeah, I know. Well, he is. I mean, John, co-created the character with me, really, even more so than other actors, because all the sort of
talking and making
sexual stuff and the sexual compulsive stuff and all that, that's all John.
Yeah.
Not John's not sexual compulsive, but like
He's
quite the opposite.
You mean it's the
Very
things that he
monogamous.
added, the things that he improv'd on set. And stuff.
Became a part of who the character was. Like originally, he was much more serious, like right-wing type of guy, and then he became a less serious right-wing type of guy.
Yeah.
Well, he likes his underwear shots.
That's the tidy whities.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
the tidy
Yeah.
whities.
Yeah,
That was always in the script, so that just would have been Bautista. All the love to Dave Bautista, by the way. Who's a good friend, a guy I love a lot, and love his acting, and can't wait to bring him around.
Powerhouse.
Play with him again. Let's talk a little bit about the actual episode today.
You know who did it? Killed Ricky. They won't let me see the files.
We're flashing back to just after the events of the Suicide Squad. Rick Flag Jr. has been killed by Peacemaker, and Emilia Harcourt is attending the funeral. She's joined by Rick Flag's father, Rick Flag Sr.
The person who did this, that person, they'll pay. I'll make sure of it.
In last episode, he
Yes.
calls back to this moment. Yeah, that's
right. He says, do you remember what you told me that you do? When he's looking at the fact that I have this smiling, happy photo of Peacemaker in my apartment, he says, do you remember what you promised me?
Yeah.
And she says, look, Rick, you know, she's trying to explain it away. But she can't really. I mean, she's still confused about it herself, I think, in a lot of ways. But yeah.
And then
We also learned Rick Flag Jr.'s middle name.
No, we don't. We learned that in Creature Commandos episode 1. They make fun of him.
Bill.
They make fun of Rick Flag Sr., that his middle name is
yes,
Bill.
yes.
Your middle name is Bill.
Yes?
Not like William?
No.
Whose middle name is Bill?
Mine, okay?
Yeah, Richard Bill Flag Sr. And this, of course, is Richard Bill Flag Jr.
That's right.
That's a terrible middle name. It just sounds terrible.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
It does not roll off the tongue.
Is that in the comics?
No.
I love you,
You
James.
just made him
I
Bill.
love you.
I just made him Bill. I just did it for the cheap joke in Creature Commandos, where they could laugh at it.
Is Bill short for something?
Not, well, normally,
Bill.
but no, but not in his case. But, you know, you always meet these parents that are like, oh, my son is Will. And then, this is my own nephew. You know, oh, William. No. It's Will. It's only Will. And they get really self-righteous about it. That's my brother and sister-in-law. They actually don't get self-righteous. But a lot of parents
seen
do.
this happen.
No. But
Never
you've
seen.
seen other people do that, right?
Sure,
Shit,
yeah.
Where they
Yeah.
get self-righteous about their
seen it.
names. Or their name is some weirdly spelled, like, you know.
Oh,
like
no. We
James,
spell it this
like
way.
James, Jaemes, and then they get really angry if you spell it James. Like,
Or Jahn for John.
yeah, and it's like, okay. Oh, my God. And we haven't even gotten past the opening credits yet.
Fuck.
This is a great podcast. Okay, we go to the park. It seems as if Harcourt has, you know, betrayed Peacemaker at the end of last episode, and we find out now that no, she didn't betray him. She warned him in her text secretly by using the word copacetic that he shouldn't come to the park, and the idiot comes anyway. He, in the middle of all these agents, just wants to know about whether the boat meant anything to you.
Did I mean
No. No. Okay? I was drunk. I told you. I wish it never fucking happened. She is so pissed off at him in this moment. In this moment, she is like, you fucking piece of shit, motherfucker. I tried to save you, and you still fucking came. Like, you think that you can get out of everything, but you can't. You are so fucked right
And
now.
she's right.
And she's
He
right.
can't get out of this
Can't
situation.
get out of this situation.
Galen, what do you remember about shooting that? I just got really angry that day.
You did, yeah. Well, we were having conversations about the earpiece, and
That's right.
because when Peacemaker first walks up to Harcourt, he's checking for her microphone to see if she's been, wired up by Argus because he suspects something. And we had a big, giant black earpiece.
Yeah, they had
in her
a big, and to your credit, you sent it to me,
Yeah.
and you said, is this okay for
Yes.
this? And I'm like, and I'm trying
Maybe
to
not.
make myself look nicer than I actually am, but I wasn't so nice. And I called up, and I was like, what the fuck, Galen? How the fuck am I supposed to trust you to look over the show if you can't see that the fucking earpiece is like...
Yes.
And so Galen got full intense James Gunn on like
You got gunned down.
day one of shooting.
Yeah,
and he's
it was
like,
like
oh my God.
Yeah, like the Tuesday after Labor Day weekend, we had 3 days off, and then it was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, this is. I may have to go home tonight. Maybe I'll be back.
But it got much more, I started to trust Galen after that, but I didn't really know Galen at that point.
Yeah.
So that was at the beginning of this process. And I have to say that throughout this process, Galen has been a lifesaver so much that we then brought him on to look over all the post-production of Superman and has become my partner on all that. So he's been a great help. But this day was hard. And it continued to be hard. It was incredibly hard to edit.
Yeah.
Phil Fowler edited this episode, and he put up with me giving, endless notes on this sequence in the park. They surround Peacemaker. We learn in this episode that Sasha Bordeaux is actually a metahuman. She's a cyborg, and she's able to shoot. I know, he's just bored till we get to him.
No, I saw that with the
saw it?
close-up, and I was like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Say most.
But did you know?
Sneaks up on you.
But did you know anything about anything, Rooker?
Well, I had done that scene with them, but I didn't know she was a cyborg or anything
Oh, right,
like that.
right, yeah. Yeah.
I would like to correct. I believe she's a PMSing cyborg.
Yeah, you call her a PMSing cyborg down the way. And then again, Harcourt goes to save Peacemaker by beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Now, this is pretty impressive. You beat the shit out of Peacemaker, Emilia Harcourt. But what do you think would have happened if it was like he didn't really defend himself? He was kind of confused. You took him unaware. Full-on fight, Chris Smith versus Emilia Harcourt, Mortal Kombat style, in the ring, and you're fighting each other. What happens?
Gosh.
Who wins and how long does it take them to win?
I don't really know. I don't know.
This is
a really good question. I think you're the one who would have to answer that. I'd be fine with either.
He does have a very
outcome at the end of the
chokeable
day.
neck. It's a very chokeable neck.
He does.
Big
That's
neck,
Yeah, easy to get to.
first
if
thing
you can
I
get your
thought
arms
about
around,
John
right?
when I saw him. I was like, oh.
What a chokeable neck.
What a chokeable neck. Yeah. No, but I just want to mention that, this was the main reason I thought it was really important that Harcourt had a little bit more muscle mass this season, because John is a huge fucking dude. He is a ginormous man. I need to put on a little bit of muscle.
How did you get him down? Did you do a flying scissor or something like that?
So I did a majority of this fight sequence, but that was Cece, my stunt double, who did that piece, and she looks so cool when she did it. So
Yeah, it's a great.
Thank you, Cece.
Great gag. So Christopher Smith is taken in. We check in with Adebayo and Adrian at the hunting cabin, and we see Red Saint Wild on the tail of his nemesis, Eagly. Now,
Flying rat.
we also showed you today your dance sequences, Red Saint Wild.
That
was at the end of last episode.
First I've seen it.
What do you think of that?
Quite sexy.
Quite sexy.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of people are going to be masturbating to that?
I think people are going to, you know what? I don't want to say what they're going to be doing, but I'm going to get letters, and
Yeah.
they're going to want photos so I
Right.
can sign them at the conventions,
Right.
you know.
Speaking of the dance sequence last episode, didn't you get poison oak or something?
I got poison oak or ivy or whatever the hell it was called.
All over your body, right?
Yeah, it was all over my thighs and groin and
Wow.
up my torso, and it started going further and further up. And I was really concerned because I had to go do something right after our show, and I didn't want it to get up into my neck and face, so I went and I got some steroidal shots. And I told you about that.
Because you were shooting Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, and I was like, Gunn, my dude, I feel like I'm like 40 years younger. I have
that's right.
I have no pain in my
right.
knees anymore,
Yeah.
and I can
steroids.
I can run. I feel great, and and I had these steroidal shots working through my system, and it was taking down all the inflammation and all that stuff, and helping with the poison oak.
But it does show you how inflammation's a big deal.
Oh, it's a
You
big
need to
problem.
take care of
Yeah,
yourself
yeah, big problem.
with inflammation that people don't focus on that.
Do you have any recollection of how that might have happened, or was it just were
They
you
didn't
walking
clean out the
through
where
it?
I was walking right in it.
James told us.
I was
Yeah.
the night before.
I can let it out now. As a practical joke, I imported the worst poison oak from Brazil, and I had it placed all around where you would be dancing naked.
So you disobey a direct order?
What order?
Staying down while I take my shot.
Nobody told me to stand down, bitch, and you better back the fuck off.
Back at Argus, Bordeaux and Harcourt get in each other's face, and I remember we went out to eat with Sol, and who plays Bordeaux, and she said that was. She said she almost pissed her pants.
She said
she was so scared.
She said I was really intimidating. She was really scared, but also that I spit in her face a few times.
Oh no!
It happens.
So sorry.
Oh, when you were acting, you were like,
Oh yeah, because I'm like,
You're yelling.
I'm like,
It happens.
I'm
You gotta
yelling
always
at
swallow
her,
before you
and
do
we
those
get
things.
up in each other's faces, but I mean, it's the first time that Harcourt looks tall, so I appreciate.
Seriously.
You got complaints? Take them to HR. I made a judgment call.
Rick Flag then beats the shit out of Peacemaker in the interrogation room. Economos and Harcourt have a heart-to-heart.
You have to book him so there's an arrest record. Otherwise, he's just gonna disappear.
But they'll know it's me.
He's gonna die. You
Yeah.
gotta go do it. And
Yeah.
he is, the reluctant hero always.
Always comes through like the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yep.
But also one of my favorite little moments where you say, you talk about how Bordeaux is a cyborg because she was in a plane crash.
Oh, yeah.
And you kept her pre-op mangled body
Photo.
as the screensaver on your phone for a while.
Yeah.
And when Harcourt is like, "You are fucked up," you're like, I didn't make my brain. Just totally,
I'm not responsible for that.
abdicating responsibility for your actions because you didn't make your brain.
God did this to me.
Yeah, that's like, Rooker after he, serial kills all those people. He's like, I didn't make my brain. I didn't make me be the one who wanted to kill all those people.
What people?
Henry.
Oh, Henry, that.
No.
No,
Rooker. Anyway. Okay, Economos saves Peacemaker, and then there's a moment I'd like to point out that I really like a lot. I like the way it was directed. I like the performance where Flurry, who we think of as kind of a piece of shit, right? Like who doesn't care about anything, comes up to you after you do that and says,
It's good you did that.
I think it's an important moment for his character where we reveal that he actually does have like a heart of some type, and he's not just this complete, total piece of shit.
He has
But at least
some
he
sort of
knows due
moral
process.
center.
Yeah, he has a moral. Right, exactly. He has a moral center. But then we go into, I think, what's really the show-stopping scene, which is where you, Michael Rooker, as Red St. Wild, take out your punt gun. That's what that giant gun is called.
My God.
So that giant gun is a real gun. It's called a punt gun. It is actually used for shooting birds.
Yeah.
Usually on flocks of ducks. It's basically the gun version of throwing dynamite into the river to fish for trout.
Yeah, you use regular shot, like
Buckshot.
maybe 12 gauge or maybe 18 gauge or something like that, and it spreads.
Yeah.
Because of the barrel and all that stuff, it really spreads. So we can take out multiple ducks.
It kills everything in the sky.
Yeah.
Now, normally, Red St. Wild is using it without any sort of tripod. That's not. It's usually used with a tripod of some type. So,
Because it was, guys, it
was a wily
it was
gun,
really
right? Yeah.
heavy. It was very unbalanced and
It's like 8 feet long, man.
Yeah.
It's bigger. It doesn't even. It looks bigger in real life than it does.
But we were all staring at it going, I don't know how to use this. And Michael's like, well, that's exactly how you hold it. And like props it up against his knee, starts to load it like that. And
do you remember again when I was like, I want them to use this. I want them to get this punt gun, and I sent pictures of what a punt gun was, and they were like, what the fuck is that? They thought they were. They also looked kind of like, because it really isn't used in modern day. It was used
there were
in
like
the past.
illustrations from like the 1890s.
Yeah.
No, I thought they had a replica, and they built this one based on that one, right? The original one
It's
wasn't
a real punt gun.
nice looking,
No,
but
it's
did they
a
have-
real punt gun that existed before we got it. We
Yeah.
didn't build it.
Oh, you didn't build that?
No, that's a real punt gun that we rented.
Oh, no wonder it's so heavy.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well, the case is
"Jeez,
also really obnoxiously
this thing
long.
is
Yeah.
really heavy.
Yeah. So
It's
that
a
was
foot-long case for it.
I was actually hoping to
Put
get that
both
as a
seats
gift,
down in the back.
as a thank you gift. Usually they give you something.
you wanted the
wanted
punt gun?
I would have put that on my wall.
That'd be your new second gun. That you
Probably,
carry around.
probably worth as much as they paid you to be on the series.
Yeah,
We got to get you that punt gun.
no, actually, they bumped up my pay. I was surprised.
Yeah, we got you up to minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
plus meals.
Plus meals, yeah. But we have this wonderful thing where we think for a second you kill. I mean, does anybody really think that they? Do you think people are going to think that he actually killed Eagly for a second?
The real.
There is some nice sad music by Kevin Kiner playing.
Yeah. It's possible.
Okay, so you think so?
For a moment.
Yeah. He
I
shoots
took on
down-
a real eagle.
He takes down an
Well, not
eagle,
really.
but as it ends up, we have an incredibly important scene. A swarm of eagles takes down Red St. Wild. So
Yeah.
in fact, what starts happening is exactly what John Economos said happened to you 2 episodes back.
When Economos pushed him into the rock, he was making up a story about what could possibly happen.
He's another eagle.
And he was like, and then another eagle, and Red St. Wild's like, another eagle.
He says that only means one thing. He must be the prime eagle.
Prime
And it sounds like he's making up some nonsense. But
To me, I am making up some nonsense.
yeah, you are making up
didn't
nonsense,
realize.
and who knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He just wants to kill an eagle. And
But I think that scene was quite revealing and turning, because the character is visual. He obviously he's got a third eye now, so he can see into the future. And so when he sees the prime eagle actual perched on the limb and looking down at him, yeah, it's very
So we discovered that Eagly is not just an average
regular
everyday
eagle, baby. He's the prime
He's the
eagle.
prime eagle.
Not an eagle.
Which
And-
it was revelation for Red.
And he comes with friends.
Yeah, he's got a lot of friends.
A lot of friends.
Lot of friends.
And they kill you, and it's
Rolls.
great. And
Rolls.
again, a shout out to Kevin Kiner and Clem Mansell for that score. It's fantastic there. The other person that deserves a shout out for that scene is Morton, because that was all done in previs with VFX, and that I remember seeing that thing that Morton cut together for that, and it was really, really great.
I think it shows redemption. I think Red feels remorse in that scene.
You think? I think he's just being a pussy.
No, I think he just feels remorse. I think he's having an internal spiritual
Oh, you do?
thing.
to
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's how I played it.
When he says, "I'm sorry, Eagly."
Yes, he
I'm
was
sorry.
really- he sees.
You don't think he's just scared of getting killed by the
No,
eagles
I think
and
he-
begging for his life?
No,
Yes.
no.
That sounds like the
I
rationalization.
never thought that at all. I
You know
thought
what, though?
because of that, he felt like, oh my God.
You see that?
Rooker,
Jen?
I
Finally.
actually see that in your performance. When I first saw the performance cut together, I was like, oh, I think that Rooker thinks that Red St. Wild's having like a spiritual awakening in this moment,
exactly
based
what
on
I
his
thought.
performance.
Oh,
I really think
so
He's a changed man.
So at the last
as
moment-
the last moment, he's a change.
He's-
his spirit has opened up and he sees the truth.
he's lived a bad life.
Yeah, he knows. I'm
killing
sorry.
eagles.
He's not saying sorry I did that. He's saying I'm sorry for my whole
of it.
life.
Oh, wow. That's cool, man. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's what was going on
This
in my
is-
brain anyway.
He's been doing this to me for how many years? 20 something years now? Because I remember when we were doing Slither, and we were talking about, there's a moment in that movie where your character, Grant, is a Slither monster, and he impregnates, and by impregnates, I mean, I don't know how to explain it to people who
I
have
exchanged my
seen the
DNA.
movie.
Yeah.
You fill this woman with your progeny, and she blows up into a giant balloon person in this barn, and then she explodes full of worms and takes over all the cops. And I remember you sitting down with me before we shot the movie, and you were like, "This is the barn, and she's Mary.
That's right.
She's the Virgin Mary."
She's the Virgin Mary, and I've
and he went through all of it from a perspective of the New Testament.
That's
which
right.
was incredible. And I'm like, yeah, that's
new life.
what I was thinking. I just wanted to see a woman explode full of worms.
We actors, we have to
Justify
we have
our
to
choices.
somehow find a way to make it meaningful inside us before we can show it outside. Whether it's we say it or not, this is what's going on internally. And it's very nice that you sort of got that, but because I didn't know if anyone would get it or not. I knew people would take it as I'm sorry to Eagly, but I meant it as I'm sorry to God. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can always see that you've done the work. Like, there's just so much happening for you behind your eyes. You're filling up the character that you're portraying always with so much. Not all actors do have to think about those sorts of things. Some of them just go and say their lines, but you never do. You're such a full character all the time. I think you're maybe one of my favorite actors ever. You're just always so good in everything that you do. I think secretly, even though James likes to shit all over him.
He's my least favorite
No,
actor.
I think he's one of your
Like,
favorite actors of all
Jesus
time.
has burdened me with Michael Rooker. One day when I was a young man, I was saying, God, please make me a big, famous, rich movie director. And Jesus appeared in my window before me, and he said, you shall have it, my son, but with it comes a great price.
Burden.
You're
A great
Sisyphus.
burden.
And then I saw Rooker's fucking ugly mug, like with flames, like the Prime Eagle. I said, "Oh, I'm not sure it's worth it. Maybe I'm gonna go back to working at Denny's."
You're Sisyphus. He's the stone that you
so
pushed
great.
up the hill.
That's
So
right.
great. But
Bullshit.
what a great compliment. Thank you so very much. That's cool.
I love you, Rooker.
It's kind of nice when some people get it and other people just don't. There's nothing you can do about that.
It's always fun working with Rooker. I mean, obviously, people can tell just listening, but people even know that we're very close friends, and we're close friends in real life, and and again, it's my burden, but that's the way it is, so I accept it. Okay, so we have a great moment here between Flurry and Judo Master when Flurry is on the phone with him, actually tries to give him a nickname, Duncan Munchkins.
You're not gonna call me that.
Bro, we got a serious situation here. I don't need your whole PC, the proper word for munchkin is midget bullshit.
But then Judo Master threatens to, not figuratively, but literally, honestly, and truly rip off his penis if he continues to call him Duncan Munchkins. And we see Flurry actually, relent. Which is good because Cupid and titties remain nothing but Cupid and titties.
We forgot the other big battle in the episode, which is Rick Flag Sr. versus Peacemaker.
Where he beats the shit out of him
the showdown
in the
we-
prison.
yeah.
And Peacemaker doesn't fight back. Yeah.
What if he had fought back? Who wins that?
I think that we have to leave that one up to fate because, there may still be.
Someday we may.
Someday we may.
I still see that at some point. Oh.
And then we have this dramatic ending where Peacemaker goes into the other dimension. I think it's unclear to some people exactly what's happening here, but he has the portal open, so you can open the portal or close the portal. And as he walks through, he sets the portal to close. Now, if he walks into that other dimension and the portal closes behind him, that means that doorway is gone. So basically, at the end of the episode, Peacemaker is leaving the Earth forever. He chooses to permanently leave our world and go to the other world with the alternate Harcourt, the alternate Augie Smith, your buddy, Robert Patrick,
His brother.
Keith.
The alternate Red St. Wilds?
And
There's
he
probably
leaves-
an alternate Red St.
maybe.
Paul for sure.
And
He's
he
probably
leaves-
a good guy.
And he leaves with
with
the case that creates the quantum unfolding chamber. He leaves a note.
He leaves a note, and he leaves that control behind, so he can't use it.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all that happening, Judo Master sees it happening, and we don't see him doing it, but has followed him inside, and Judo Master is also trapped in the other dimension. Adebayo and Vigilante show up. They have the note. They go back. They read the note to the 11th Street Kids. Guns N' Roses, great song. November Rain starts playing. Actually, my favorite Guns N' Roses song. And we get his message to his group of friends that he's saying goodbye and that he loves them, including Harcourt and all the, what's his quote, all the fucked up cunty bullshit that she's done.
Yeah. All the fucked up cunny bullshit that Harcourt did.
We also see some joy in the middle of all that because we see him flying happily with
In
the
the other
top
dimension.
trio in the other dimension. We see the sadness of 11th Street Kids here on Earth 1. And we see another important moment, which is Vigilante breaking down and crying. And we talked a little bit about this. Freddie and his Swedish-British roots was terrified of this sequence. It's not his usual thing. And he's great in the scene where he breaks down just absolutely sobbing in Adebayo's arms. It's a wonderfully touching moment because, of course, he and Adebayo are always at odds. I mean, she's not at odds with him. He's at odds with her because he's jealous of her friendship with Peacemaker. And he takes solace in her. But we also see, really, Vigilante, who has problems with processing any sort of emotions. He says in, season 1, episode 5, I don't have emotions like other people do.
Like people do.
I don't have emotions like people do. Yeah, not other people. I don't have emotions like people do. And yet we see a change in him. And it says even in the script, I should have brought the script pages. I'm like, this is a show where it's very important to me that all of the characters are constantly changing and evolving as we go from episode to episode, from season to season. But for me, the exception to that has always been Vigilante, who stays the same. And I said, but maybe even he is capable of change as we see in this moment. I don't know. What do you think, Steve? You think he's capable of change?
I mean, obviously, this is a guy who, it's probably the first time he's cried.
Yeah.
He's probably not just crying because of Peacemaker, but he's crying probably like 35 years of
repressed
whatever's going on in his head.
Yeah.
He feels he can make amends now that he's in a new dimension or new world, right?
You're in a new dimension or a new world.
Don't you think, though? Yeah.
Who? I'm talking about Vigilante.
We're talking about Vigilante,
Yeah,
not
Vigilante.
Peacemaker.
Oh, never mind.
Yes. Classic Rooker moment. All right. And so
He just talks.
Yeah.
He just, stuff comes out. Doesn't matter.
he's trying.
It doesn't matter what you're talking
trying.
about. I went to Peacemaker.
He could
in my
look.
head.
Oh, you were thinking about Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's ascended to another dimension.
Yeah.
Or descended. We'll have to see. And then what happens, Jen?
Well, after that, they, as a team, aside from Economos, decide they're going to go get him back from the other dimension. And Economos finally, once again, reluctantly
Reluctantly
joins because he has
crouched at the
serious
starting
FOMO.
line.
You
Always.
have-
Yeah, he does.
He has serious FOMO.
His life choices are driven by FOMO.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then we get another slow walk, the famous Peacemaker slow walk.
Yeah, that's another Peacemaker slow walk. More to come for those slow walk lovers. One of the things I like about Red St. Wild is he's kind of like Elmer Fudd.
That's right. She said that. Didn't she?
You always remind me of Elmer Fudd in real life.
And then the last real moment that we have before we end the episode, we go into a montage, and you see Harcourt 2 seeing Peacemaker come back from defeating a kaiju, and they look at each other.
The same kaiju as in
Superman, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, they run towards each other, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, and it's a really nice ending. And two other things I want to talk about is, number one, there's the grossest shot ever in this episode, which is that fox vomiting. Yeah. That the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that was the grossest thing ever.
Great work in VFX.
Weta made that good. Fox. And the thing that we haven't really talked about this season are Economos' shirts.
Yeah.
They are
Stepped it up.
They are great shirts. You got possums, you got scared raccoons, you got capybaras, you got, what else did you have this season?
A sloth.
A sloth.
There's a cool sloth one. From what I understand, like season 1, a lot of those shirts were actual shirts that you can buy online, and like the wolves howling at the famous shirt.
Yeah.
And we were kind of a new show, and it was, I think, a lot easier for us to get to do that. And now that we're popular, I think it was, if I'm right, we couldn't clear a lot of
We
those
want
things.
to make our own shirts, which you're doing.
And so we just said, fuck it, and we made our
Is it
own.
popular, the show?
It's really popular.
Is it what?
Some places.
The show?
Is it popular?
The show?
Is the show popular?
Yeah, this show. Is it popular?
Yeah.
It's not unpopular.
It's not popular.
I don't know that we would be doing a full podcast covering both
Well,
seasons
a
of the
lot of
show
shows
if it
do
wasn't
things
somewhat
to
popular.
try to make themselves more popular than they really are.
You know what? I take back everything that I said about you earlier.
Okay. Let's Let's
Wait,
do.
one
yeah,
more
what do
thing
you got?
we should
What do you
talk
got? What do you
about
got? What do you got? What do you got?
is that Peacemaker finally gets his jetpack. In season 1, there's a whole run about he wants to get his jetpack. His desire for a jetpack still remains because Myrn got him excited about a jetpack. And he never gets his jetpack, but he finally gets
He finally gets his jetpack. So it looks pretty. Things are looking up for Peacemaker, and that's when you know things are gonna go down. So
Yep.
that's all. That's the kind of rule of the Peacemaker show.
And now, Peace Thoughts. Welcome back to another edition of Peace Thoughts, where I share my unfiltered thoughts on moments throughout the series. Frank Grillo is amazing. He is Rick Flag. The way he operates, how he protects his nuances. I'll take a note. Oh, fuck it, we'll do it. He very much understands every inch of what he's doing. He's extremely calculated, and it shows. He is the character. I would have it no other way. And it's not that he's uncoachable or can't take guidance. He's just so invested. And, gosh, his choices are fucking spot on.
Fight me, motherfucker!
He wants this person to fight back so he can thwart this enemy to justify and mend the hurt that he's going through for his son's death. And on the other side, Peacemaker 100% understands that this is justice. This is his sentence. And he will get fucking killed here because he has earned that.
I know it doesn't give you any comfort. There's not a day that goes by that I don't regret.
I don't know what Chris wants here. I just think he wants to try to do good. Like in his heart of hearts, he says it in the first episode. He wants to be a real hero. And if facing all of his wrongs is a way to reset the odometer so he can start at 000 and then work his way to be a real hero, well then, you know what? He's going to get his ass kicked, or he's going to flirt with death, or whatever. I think he's searching for some sort of reset button and is having trouble finding it. We exit this scene. Thank you, Economos, for booking me. But Frank Grillo takes his character and the obsession with revenge to the next level and begins to incorporate a lot of folks who don't necessarily operate under virtue to just get fucking revenge. Like, revenge at all costs. It's dangerous. That's it for this episode's Peace Thoughts. Back to you, James, Jen, and Steve. We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
Let's talk a little bit about Song Spotlight.
Yeah.
You know, we have a couple of really great tunes this episode. We got Take Me for a Ride by Bad City, plays over the end. I love that song. We got that Ain't That Kind of Girl by Diamonds, really fantastic band from Canada. But we have to go with the song Spotlight on November Rain by Guns N' Roses. It's off their 1991 album, Use Your Illusion 1. They were an American hard rock band formed in Los Angeles in 1985. I saw them for the first time in 1986 at the Troubadour on the night that they got signed. I know Slash a little bit. He came and hung out on the set of the Suicide Squad. We recently saw him backstage at the Michael Monroe concert with
Such a cool guy. Like, just
such a nice guy.
he's just so grounded and such a cool guy to chat
I know.
with.
I mean, I think, you know, you have another part of that band that's maybe not quite as grounded, and then Slash kind of just grounds everything out. So Slash is a super cool guy. It's a great song from one of the greatest rock bands of all time. I was able to tell him that his song was going to be in there. I also really want to thank Guns N' Roses because that's the biggest song we've ever had on this show. And it's not an inexpensive song, but they let us have it for totally reasonable amount of money. And thank you to Guns N' Roses and their record label for doing that. Wow. As of October 2024, November Rain is the most viewed song on YouTube released in the 90s.
Wow.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
This is a good
Amazing.
music video.
It is a good music video. And so, yeah, and now they have a new music video they can use. Yeah, man, it's a great having their song in the episode.
Should we go to the Eagly Airmail bag?
Let's do it.
Fan questions. Our first one is a audio question from the DC Discord from Cybernex.
This is Cybernex from the DC Comics Discord calling in. The legendary D. Bradley Baker voices Eagly. What was it like directing him through all of Eagly's screeches and sounds? Thank you so much, and have a great one.
Cybernex.
It was easy. I mean, because Dee does everything. He gives you a potpourri of eagle sounds, and he just kind of did everything we needed. It was so I didn't have to direct it all. He just kind of went in there, saw the different scenes, did the eagle sounds, and I think, as I mentioned, one of these episodes, I had to put myself on mute because we were on Zoom because I cannot stop laughing when I'm watching him because he makes all these faces and things. It's crazy.
You actually can almost understand what Eagly's communicating in some ways.
You know, one of the things about Eagly with both his sounds that we give him and also the way he's animated is I'm pretty hardcore with not overly anthropomorphizing Eagly. Like, they are constantly trying to make him do things that are not what an eagle would do.
Right.
And even though he is the prime eagle, he's still an eagle, and he's still an animal. He's not a human being. He doesn't have conversations, and he doesn't really know English very well.
But like when he's saying, open this fucking container of deli meat, it feels like you can understand what he's communicating.
Yeah.
All right. Rob with 1B on Blue Sky says, what's their personal favorite I can't believe they let us do this moment?
Galen?
Well, there's a couple that are coming up that I won't get into, but I think blowing that body up in the alt dimension where we were talking about how much blood and gore and everything else should go in that thing, and we had a bunch of local kids watching us because they heard that John Cena was there. So having to navigate a scene of absolute carnage, knowing that there'd be blood splattering across the city block while they're just trying to get a picture and a selfie with their hero was awesome. And then John afterward took photos with kids, and then they posted them online, and in the background you would just see like a little bit of intestine, a little bit of charred remains from the Son of Liberty who was exploded on that day. So that was a very fun moment.
I can think of some pretty specific ones that we can't spoil that are happening later in the season, maybe even in the next episode.
Well, let me just say there are things coming up that no one really allowed us to feel initially want us to do, but we did anyway.
Right.
So one of the fun things about making a TV show when you've been making giant movies and is just we can do anything. And
Sounds
it makes
familiar.
it fun. Yeah.
Yours was looking into the orgy window, right?
Oh my God. I was about to say, this is like my 4th or 5th production I've worked with James on, so nothing's really surprising. But yeah, the orgy scene.
Yeah.
There was a time when it was like a big deal to show butts on TV. Like,
well, but we're not.
Everybody was trying.
we are cable, but like, remember Dennis Franz on NYPD
Yeah, it
Blue?
was a big deal. Yeah.
That was newsworthy.
Yeah.
And this is like not just nudity, full nudity, and insane sex acts.
Yeah, because I didn't tell you what you were going to see when you looked through.
No, it's just on the script. He's like, there are naked bodies everywhere.
Yeah, but when you were actually there on set, I remember hiding it from you, and I was like, let's.
I was like, what the fuck? What are they doing? Yeah, it was nuts. You're right. That is the moment. What about you?
Yeah, the penis guy dancing was pretty hilarious to me. I was like, just like those guys, those extras went all out there in that episode. So it's not surprised that somebody let me do it, but I was surprised that people were so, wonderfrooly free.
But did they tell you not to do it and you did it anyway?
No, that's something else.
That's more my style. Rooker, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. I just told you not to do that.
I'm also surprised they let Rooker work on the show.
I can't believe we can still ensure a production with Rooker in it.
That's so true.
All right, Rick on Discord writes, how different is directing a TV episode to directing a movie?
It's actually very different for me. I mean, there are things that are the same, but I really... and I don't know if it's so much TV versus movies, but it's Peacemaker versus everything else, that there is a much looser way of going about it. I do work out a lot of stuff in advance, but not quite as much on a TV show. I'm having more fun as I go along, creating more on the spot.
You're having
moving
fun
quickly.
at all.
Having fun at all. That's right. it's a lot more fun, but it is also really like a kind of a looser format. Anything can go, and I don't prep as much. I just don't.
Do you think moving quickly helps you with creativity sometimes?
Yeah, I think moving quickly does, and I think not planning so infinitesimally down to the nub. But I don't do that as, like if you go back and look at like Guardians 2, okay? You look at my storyboards for Guardians 2, there's no difference. Like I drew the movie and then we shot the movie and then it's edited in the exactly like the storyboards. There's almost no improv whatsoever. I mean, it's just like really, really stuck to exactly what it was. But as you go on, after Guardians 2, I remember being in Hawaii, remember this, with you and Stevie Blackheart and our friends, with Jen and my friends, and I was like, exhausted. I'm like, I can't live life like this. Like it's looking like I'm starting to have the opportunity to make a movie every couple years, and I cannot do what I've done for the past 2 years. I was just dead. And it wasn't only the work, it was I was taking Ambien at the time and other things, and like Ambien's a terrible drug for me at least. And
you were taking it because you have a really difficult time sleeping.
Real sleep. You gotta have real sleep.
I know,
you found that
I found it's much better for me to occasionally have a night where I sleep an hour and a half or no time at all, rather than sleeping 5 hours on Ambien every night.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just was psychologically breaking down.
Yeah.
And I needed to have more joy in filmmaking. Otherwise, I was not going to keep doing it. It was too hellish. I hated shooting. And so at that point, I started changing a little bit. And
well, what actually happened was that was happening while you were both releasing Guardians 2 and writing Guardians 3, and it was the most excruciatingly painful experience of your life writing Guardians 3. You were in
I would say the most excruciatingly painful experience of my life was writing Superman and this show at the same time. But
that was really terrible. But you were in agony because for a lot of different reasons, you were just in agony at that time.
Yeah.
And then you got fired.
Yeah.
And through the experience of getting fired, you
for those of you who don't know, I got fired from
Disney.
This
Fired
is a great thing
James.
to talk about.
Whatever. You don't even have to include this. You don't have to include it. But the thing is that you got fired. You were. There was a moment there after you got fired that was really one of the darkest times of your life. But then after you were able to sit and sort of reflect. And you started to receive love from your friends and family.
You started reflecting how many friends you really do have.
That is absolutely true. Yeah. Rooker knows.
In those times.
Yeah.
You think you're alone, but you find out you're not.
You're not. And so the hardest times, I had so much support from people I loved and who loved me. And also, it made me go, what am I doing this for? Why am I making movies if it's hellish? And it got me back to play and creativity and why do I want to make movies? Well, because I liked playing with Fisher-Price characters and shit like that when I was a little child. I liked making up stories with, Star Wars figures, I had fucking Star Wars figures teaming up with the Cookie Monster and I'm like, what a great adventure. Like, and it's kind of like what I do now. It's, is that so different from a raccoon and a, space adventurer?
You had gotten to a point where you were trying to create what you thought everyone wanted from you or something like that?
I was trying to do the right thing. But creativity is not about the right thing. Creativity is about fucking open mind and just go.
Hear, hear.
And so that's what I started to do again, and I started to actually enjoy my job. And I will say that, yes, in one way, writing this recent batch of stuff was more excruciating than that early stuff, but in another way, it wasn't at all, because I was really busy and overworked and exhausted. But I would be terrified to write an episode of Peacemaker, but because I go to it from a point of creativity, I just sort of write and it comes out, and then it's out, and I'm going, holy shit, how did that turn out so okay? Like, that's fun. I didn't know that was going to happen. Whereas when I was writing Guardians 3, I'm trying to get it right and just feeling terrible about it the whole time, you know? And then people always ask me, what do you do about writer's block? And I say, and then maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, maybe writer's block exists. But for me, writer's block only exists when I'm trying to do good writing. But good writing doesn't matter. What matters is writing. And so write bullshit. Quit judging what you're doing. That's the destroyer of creativity and the evolution of creativity. Just do it. Have a good time. Or have a bad time. Have a bad time. That's okay too.
Others to judge you. So don't judge yourself.
That's right. That's somebody else's job.
That's not your job.
All we can do as filmmakers and creators and actors is we can do the work and put it out there. And then what somebody else thinks of it as, what the reviews are like, how much money it makes, what it does, that's not our fucking business. It doesn't matter, until it happens. Then you got some more money, you got some less money. Who knows? But if your mind is on that shit when you're creating, it's going to be not as good.
Well, not only it's not going to be as good, you're not going to be as happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a real. That's sort of a simplistic way to talk about it because it is more complex than that. Because obviously, you make something with an audience in mind, and that's a part of it. But all of these basic rules still apply to where your mental state is as you're in the creation phase.
All right. There you have it. And our last question.
What was the question that was the answer to?
How different is directing TV from a movie?
Yeah.
So, at Shark Fan Up North on X writes, the show was brilliantly cast, but Eagly stole the spotlight in every scene. What was his inspiration, and will we get his origin? Any plans for more appearances in the DCU? Thank you to everyone involved for a great series. Now just announced season 3.
Well, listen, my dad's favorite animal was an eagle, so we had a house, like a cabin really, on the lake in Lake of the Ozarks that was called the Eagle's Nest. We had pictures of eagles everywhere, and when my dad passed away, we all have one of his silly eagle paintings that he had up in the house. They're usually not very artistically wonderful. So maybe it's that, I don't know. But it seems like the symbol of America. It seemed like something that Peacemaker would have as a pet when he got out of prison. I wanted him to have a sidekick.
Sometimes I just think I'm insecure in my masculinity, so I'm making up for it by having a dangerous pet. Like one of those knuckle dicks in Georgia with a tiger on a leash.
Peacemaker doesn't think of having an eagle as a dangerous pet like a tiger, even though it's probably more dangerous in certain ways. But he judges the knuckle dicks in wherever he was talking about that have pet tigers.
Right.
Which also, by the way, I also think that people that own tigers are knuckle dicks, or eagles for that matter, in real life. It is a fake show. We have a place we support outside Atlanta called Noah's Ark. Where are we going this episode? Rooker, you bring in the craziness, but it's a place called Noah's Ark, and what they do is they rescue animals. And a lot of the animals that they rescue are from the exotic animal pet trade.
There are a lot of knuckle dicks tigers.
A lot of knuckle dicks who get, pet tigers as cubs or lions or alligators or, bears and raise them in their basements.
It's all well and
hyenas.
good until you poke an eye out.
Yeah. And it's an idiotic, they're not
Rooker knows
pets
from experience.
and they shouldn't be pets, and some people have them as pets, and so they save animals from the exotic, but also from the like sort of roadside circus trade, because there's a lot of animals in miserable conditions in roadside zoos and roadside circus.
In cages that are like...
So shout out to Noah's Ark. You can go visit them when you're in Atlanta. It's a wonderful place to visit. There's a crow there named Gru, who I haven't seen for a couple of years, but he remembers me every time I go every couple of years. Because I'm nice to him.
I think you named a crow there once. I think they asked you to name a crow once.
Crowy.
I wonder what...
Yeah.
We have been trying to get James to do an Eagly crypto team up. Like Thelma Louise or got Sadistic Homeward Bound, where they're just going across the country killing people.
Oh, I like that.
thank you, Galen, for being here with us.
Thank you for
very
being
much.
here with us today, but also thank you for being on the show. I talk about you behind your back all the time and say that even if you were terrible at your job, I'd still want you around just because I enjoy being around you so much, but you're not. You're great at your job, and I'm really grateful for having you.
Galen,
Thank you,
Galen, you're the only guest I'd like to thank today.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you for welcoming with open arms to your Peacemaker family, because it was a real...
Rooker, you're such a busy guy. We really do appreciate you coming by.
Before we go, why don't I tell your ear operation story just to have
We
it
are
on
not
film?
gonna
We can
have
use it at any
enough
time.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
All right, so here's the story of Michael Rooker and his ear operation. So when Michael Rooker was about 12 years old, he lived in Chicago. He was not from a wealthy family, and he had some problems with his ears. So he had to have an ear operation. There was going to be a 2-stage operation over about 6 months. You can stop me if I ever say anything wrong, but I know the story.
Yeah, but that's pretty good. Yeah.
And Michael went in for the first stage of the operation. They basically cut here, they flip the ear open, they go in, they dig around, they do the thing, sew it back up. And he went on his way as a 12-year-old kid, and he was fine. 6 months later, he goes back in, lays down on the operating table. They give him the anesthesia. They flip open the ear, open it up, and young Michael Rooker woke up on the operating table.
Yeah, I had a growth spurt.
He had a growth spurt.
In between.
They, being obviously really medical professionals, they only, measured him the first time.
Yes, that's
and they
right,
gave
that's
him the
right.
amount of anesthesia that he would have needed for when he was 6 inches shorter, 6 months ago.
True.
And he woke up and he just heard really loud scraping inside of his head.
Fuck.
And he started crying, as you would if you were 12 years old and your head was open and they had to finish the operation while he was wide awake. And they had to hold his head down, and the nurses were crying. And
Nurses were crying. The
and
doctors yelling at them.
The punchline to this, many years later, when we were shooting our first film together, Michael Rooker was in a Slither monster outfit that had 5 other people kind of hanging off of him, and he was just in total agony with this makeup, and the machines were burrowing into the back of his neck, and he was holding up these other actors who were being lazy and leaning on him.
They were going to sleep.
He was in pure agony. And after that was over, I said, what was worse, that operation? He said, far and away, it was the Slither makeup.
And then you have been doing this to him every year.
Ever since.
You guys have met.
Ever since.
Well, I owe him. I owe him. So, that was my first movie. I directed that movie. He acted in it. And any other actor would have backed down, not put up with all that shit, and he didn't. And so I owe him my life, and he's my brother forever.
Thank you, my man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
it.
in.
That's always fun.
Appreciate it. It's great. It was great to be on the show. So I had a blast, and thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoy this season. So hell yeah.
Popular now.
All right. Well, coming up next week, season 2, episode 6, entitled "Ignorance is Chris." Did I come up with that one?
You came up with that one. Yeah, that was yours.
Joining us to talk about the episode will be co-executive producer and SVP of physical production Lars Winter, who we've seen on this show before, as well as the DP, Sam McCurdy, will be joining us.
That's awesome. Yeah. Fucking love Sam.
But maybe Galen will be back too.
I mean,
why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're going to stay.
I'll torture Lars.
Okay. Stream new episodes of Peacemaker Thursdays on HBO Max, and you can find this podcast on HBO Max, the HBO Max YouTube channel, and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to check out new episodes of DC Studios Showcase. Frankie, Tyler, and Coy will also be unpacking Peacemaker Season 2. This has been a DC Studios Showcase presentation. Peace out.
Yay.
Peace out.
This was an OBB sound production for HBO Max and DC Studios, hosted by James Gunn, with co-host Jennifer Holland and me, Steve Agee. Executive producers for DC Studios are Phil Sopanides and Gary Barbosa. Executive producer for HBO Max is Becky Rowe. Executive producers for OBB are Michael D. Ratner, Scott Ratner, and Toby Lawless. Special thanks to, from DC, Mike Pilata and Victor Diaz. And from HBO Max Design, Tom Hascard, Martha Duarte Diaz, Ryan Cronin, Brett Krause, and John Northway. Producer, Toby Lawless. Producer for HBO Max is Aaron Kelly. Research producer, Jesse Holland. Associate producer, Tessa Bartholomew. Associate producer, Chris Stith. Production manager, Kevin Lynn. Studio coordinator, Elijah Matias. Director of photography, Chris Piper. First assistant camera and camera operator, AJ Knipe. Gaffer, Arthur Garcia. Key grip, Jake Reeder. Sound mixer, Josh Falcon. Sound mixer, Darren Bowling. Post-production supervisor, Mariana Cristostomo. Lead editor, Jesse Holland. Editor, Louis Sinibaldi. Assistant editor, Mark Alcacid. Hair and makeup artist, Kendall Shannon. Director of creative development and social strategy, Lenore Castro. Senior coordinator, creative development and social strategy, Sharif Bakari. Production assistant, Antonio Cavallo.
We look better. The lighting.
Yeah, he fixed the lighting so that you are not able to be seen anymore.
That's good. I'm in the background. That's me.
This is going to be the worst podcast of all time.